What's up, guys? Welcome to today's video. I'll be going over the price action that we saw on Friday, and then I'll go over what we can possibly be seeing going into next week. So let's jump right into it. On Thursday, with an hour and a half left of trading, we got 3 long triggers, and although gray is the weakest long trigger, it was enough to tell me that as long as we can turn the 122 previous resistance into support, we're most likely going to be looking at a move higher on Friday. Turns out in the first hour of trading, we respected the 122 support really nicely and then began to slowly climb up, even inversing the SPY at some points. So we definitely saw GME showcase some of that negative beta, which was a really positive sign. In the second half of trading, the market dumped really hard, and GME is not immune to the overall macro trend of the market, and we did see a drop at the 130 resistance, which we now touched 3 times. Keep that in mind going forward. And then in the last 2 hours of trading on Friday, we got 4 long triggers, so yellow being the most bullish, blue being medium, and gray being the weakest. But we also had a really bullish signal in the boom hunter, which is when these yellow lines come down and form a U. So this would be a V, and this would be a U, and the red oscillator cloud is sharply sloping downwards, and we have our green dots passing through the cloud. It is a really good indicator that sellers are losing control and buyers are now taking over, and we actually saw the price begin to rise after it respected the 122 support line once again. So if this setup happened on a Monday or a Tuesday or a Wednesday, I would say that the next day we're most likely going to be looking to move up and retest the 130 level for a 4th time, because it was a Friday and we don't know what's going to happen over the weekend with the market. Monday, if the market opens much lower and GME opens up lower as well, then these indicators would not be in play. So if nothing happens Monday morning and the market and GME opens at the same price range than it was at Friday, then this is in play. But if there is a major downswing in the market, then just disregard this for Monday. Important thing coming up this week is going to be SLD deposits, and I'll explain what that means right now. So every 19th of the month, the top 30 NSCC clearing firms, clearing members need to deposit liquidity for options expiration. And so if you take a look at what's been going on the past 12 months, every 16th to just about the 19th of the month, the SPY moves down, and I've labeled all of them in red where it moves down. And this one was in green because the SPY actually moved up. And this is in blue because the blue ones are the ones where GME inverse the market even through a dip. So you can see here that the SPY took a dip from the 18th to the 19th, and GME actually moved up against the market. And again over here in this December SLD cycle, the market moved down and GME actually made a move higher. So going into this week, what can we expect? So we have SLD deposits coming up on the 16th to the 19th, and will we move down with the SPY or not? It's a good question. Let me show you what it would look like if we do. So if the stock ever makes a impulse move like we saw from 95 right here to 130 right here, if we measure that out, it was a 37% price increase. So what's very common and a great implementation of fibs would be to go from the 95 level before we started the impulse wave and bring it to the top. And the most bullish golden pocket retracement area would be right here at the 0.786. So that would be 103. And so looking forward into this week, if the SPY takes us down from the 16th to the 19th, and we break this 122 level of support, the levels we can be looking forward to would be 117, 113, 109, and this would actually be the most bullish scenario at 103, and I'll show you why. So let's go back to this August cycle over here, and we saw that during this SLD deposit, the market moved downward and GME moved downward with it. So let's zoom in a bit and I'll show you guys why I'm pretty bullish about if we make it down to the 103 area. So if we view this on the, on the 3-month chart. Let's take a closer look at it. So let's draw the retracement from here until the top, and if you look closely, you can see that we actually landed at just about the 0.786 level, a couple of ticks away before making this much higher move up the next week, August 24th, which would be the equivalent to February 23rd of our run. And just another example in a different stock of an impulse move and a retracement to the 0.786. So this stock went from 13.71 to 18.80, and if we measure that out, we see that it was also just about a 40% move. And so let's take the retracement from the low until the high. And if you see the setup here, the 0.786, the golden ratio, is where it landed before erupting for a higher move up. So the worst case scenario for GME this week is actually also an extremely bullish scenario for GME this week. And what I mean by that is that if we do happen to be pulled down with the market and revisit that 103 area, it would set us up really nicely for an explosive move coming out of that hole. One indicator to tell us that we might be seeing a little bit of a dip this week is the stochastic. Looks pretty exhausted right now. So for this indicator, above 60 would be a buy and below 30 would be a sell. I'll be making a video on how to use these indicators more in depth on YouTube, but I'm not going to go super into detail with them on these videos here. Barring that we do not make a move down with the SPY this week during SLD deposits. So if you look at the November cycle right here, you can see that the SPY moved down and GME moved up. So there is also the possibility of that happening, and we'll just have to see how it plays out. I'll be updating with videos every day, but no matter which way you look at it, it's bullish. And if we go out to the longer time frame, so I've been pretty excited about this, and I'll show you guys what I'm looking at. If you look at the weekly time frame, you can see that the Boom Hunter is getting a really excellent setup on the 5-year. And so let me explain. We have the downward sloping cloud of the red oscillator and the green lines moving through it with a U shape and a yellow long trigger. It really doesn't get any more bullish than this. And what this tells me is that sellers have been in control ever since this June spike, and they've been able to walk down the price ever since then. Although we made these 2 runs, it in fact has been a pretty downward trend ever since June. And this tells me all you need to know for now, which is that buyers pretty much have complete control of the price at this point, and so any dip would really just represent an excellent buying opportunity. I'm going to leave these highlighted areas up for you guys because I'll be referring them into my, as we move into next week, OPEX. And as we finish this week, but these are the levels that I would expect the price to move into. In fact, we could even move this up. So I think that in summary, we're going to have to see how OPEX plays out. Just to summarize real quick, if OPEX brings us down, then look for the level, look for 122 to hold at support. If 122 holds, then very possibly we can show negative beta again and continue moving up into next week OPEX. If it does bring us down, look for 117, 113, 108, and 103. And if we do go all the way down to 103, it is actually an extremely bullish setup based on the golden ratio Fibonacci retracement. That's all for today, guys.